There are few upcoming video game sequels more hotly anticipated than Borderlands 4. It's been almost 6 years since the third mainline entry into Gearbox's beloved first-person looter-shooter franchise was released, and it goes without saying that fans are pretty bloody eager to get their hands on the next adventure. Thankfully, we've only got a short while to wait before Borderlands 4 drops for PC, PS5 and Xbox platforms, and also the newfangled Nintendo Switch 2. And Gearbox has been plenty forthcoming with detailing how this new sequel will iterate upon the series' much-loved formula. So with that in mind, here's everything that you absolutely positively need to know about Borderlands 4. Number 7. A more mature Borderlands game. The Borderlands series is well known for its intentionally juvenile, over-the-top approach to comedy, though some fans did feel that Borderlands 3 seriously overdid it with the toilet humour and generally obnoxious meme-related jokes. Though it would have been the most Borderlands thing imaginable to just double down on this for Borderlands 4, the sequel's lead writer Sam Winkler recently confirmed that the game will dial back the potty gags. Specifically, he said that players shouldn't expect to see any utterances of the word skibbity in the game. Praise the bloody Lord. Producer Anthony Nicholson meanwhile confirmed that the overall tone would evolve from Borderlands 3, and while there will still be plenty of zaniness on offer, it does seem like it's going to hew closer to the darker apocalyptic vibes of the first two games. This will be music to the ears of many long-time fans who felt that the third game ultimately went a little too wild and was a smidge too immature for its own good. Number 6. The series' biggest universe to date with no loading screens. As with the previous games, Borderlands 4 will offer both solo and co-op play with up to 4 players. And though Gearbox have stressed that Borderlands 4 isn't strictly fully open world, they have promised fans that will give them the series' biggest universe to date, and more to the point, traversing between the various hubs of the game's main planet Kairos will be absolutely seamless. Even with this scale, there will apparently be no loading times whatsoever. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has assured fans that they'll be able to fast travel across Kairos and teleport to their friends without any pesky loading times, though he didn't exactly elaborate on how his team had pulled this off. All the same, Pitchford sure sounded mighty confident about it, and given that Borderlands 3 was widely criticised for its lengthy load times, this sounds like quite the technological coup. Number 5. The story. Borderlands 4's story kicks off in the wake of the previous game's ending, where Vault Hunter Lilith teleported Pandora's moon Elpis to save everyone on both Pandora and Elpis. However, doing so has destroyed the protective barrier of the planet Kairos, which until this point had been completely hidden away from the galaxy. Kairos was ruled by a despotic villain known as the Timekeeper, who controls the planet's citizens with cybernetic bolts in their brains, and his backup consists of synthetic soldiers known as the Order. However, the destruction of the barrier cloaking Kairos has caused all hell to break loose, with the populace staging a revolt against the Timekeeper as new factions duke it out for supremacy. The player meanwhile takes control of a new Vault Hunter who is joined by a fresh cast of teammates as they lead the resistance against the Timekeeper and to seek out alien treasures. Though we do know that a handful of beloved Borderlands characters will also be returning, such as Claptrap, Moxie, Zane and more.
Heard you were rounding up some Vault Hunters. Reporting for duty, boss.
Number 4. Traversal has been overhauled. Borderlands 4 looks to seriously rework the series' traversal mechanics, both in terms of moment-to-moment movement and vehicular exploration. The sequel will now allow players to glide with a jetpack, dash, and double jump, and even takes a page straight out of Halo Infinite's book by introducing a grappling hook. This should help Traversal feel more fluid and free-flowing than ever before, and Gearbox is also giving players more freedom when it comes to transports. While in the previous games you needed to use a catch-a-ride terminal to spawn a vehicle, in Borderlands 4 you'll be able to summon transports almost anywhere in Kairos. Though it hasn't yet been confirmed that the game is doing away with the catch-a-ride entirely, it's certainly easy to infer that, even with the caveat that vehicles can't be spawned everywhere in the game world. Added versatility and options are almost always a good thing, so this sounds like a welcome host of changes. Number 3. New loot system offers more variety. Now, Borderlands, being a looter-shooter franchise, means that it's of paramount importance that loot drops feel meaningful, and Gearbox has promised that Borderlands 4 will offer up the most varied loot in the series' history. In an attempt to, in their own words, bring back the magic to Borderlands' loot chase, legendary items will drop considerably less frequently, amid complaints from some players that Borderlands 3 was a little too generous with them to the extent that they didn't feel meaningful. For Borderlands 4, legendary drop rates have been significantly reduced, reduced in an attempt to make them feel more valuable and satisfying for the player when they do actually get them. Obviously, drop rates are a tricky nut to crack, and it's entirely possible that Gearbox needs to fine-tune it post-launch, but if they can make legendaries feel truly special again, then they'll be making some players very happy. Gearbox has also promised that legendaries will now have greater stat improvements and more unique abilities, hopefully making their discovery considerably more exciting. Number 2. The Minimap controversy explained. Perhaps Borderlands 4's single most controversial design decision was the choice to remove the minimap from the previous games, replacing it instead with a compass pointing them to their next mission objective. This naturally rustled a ton of feathers online, as many players rely on that minimap for exploration. However, Randy Pitchford asked players to wait and see, reasoning that the minimap was removed due to the size of the game world, whereby a compass was ultimately the more practical option. Pitchford added that the game's greater emphasis on vertical traversal, for example with the grappling hook, made a compass feel like the right choice, rather than players constantly having to read a minimap. While it will remain a contentious choice until Borderlands 4 launches proper, Pitchford seemed adamant that it was the right call, and he's also keenly pointed out to players that they can still access a larger main map with a single button press. As always, we'll have to wait and see how the compass is received by the player base en masse. And number 1, the release date. And finally there's the matter of Borderlands 4's release date, and as we said earlier, fans haven't got too much time to wait at all. Borderlands 4 was originally set to release on September the 23rd of this year, though in a rare case of a game having a release date pushed forward, it was recently confirmed to be landing 11 days earlier on September the 12th. Randy Pitchford cited confidence in the game's development as the reason. Either way, Borderlands 4's release seems perfectly positioned, landing on a typically quiet period of the gaming calendar between the summer boom and the late year onslaught leading up to Christmas. Without much direct competition to speak of, it should be smooth sailing ahead for this game. Well, assuming it lives up to the hype, of course. And there we go, my friends. Those were 7 things you need to know about Borderlands 4. I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome, my friend, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.